Good morning. I'm so proud to be here today, part of this group of 4 people on this platform. And it's an unusual thing to have 4 women on a platform, but it shouldn't be. The population is 50-50 male-female, isn't it? But in construction and engineering, just as Sue says, it's not. There's only 14% of the construction industry is female, and a mere 1% of the people out on site are female. So I'm going to talk a little bit about gender diversity and what barriers might exist to women joining the highways industry, and also how we might overcome those going forward. So why am I here? It's because I love highways and I'm passionate about this great industry and about promoting it as a great career option going forwards. I want it to be a diverse workplace for the people that come after me, and I want to see that more and more people will join it going forwards. You'll see on the front that I'm here because I won the European Women in Construction and Engineering Award for Best Woman in Highways. And can you imagine the stick I'm getting in the pub for that title? It's just, and you're going to ask the question, why is there an award specifically for women and that has that title? I wholeheartedly agree with you that it feels wrong that we have to have a separate award for women. And I hope it's only a temporary situation while we redress the balance in our industry. And then we end up with a more representative, balanced highway sector. For me as an individual, I didn't know at school what I wanted to do. I wanted to work in transport, that's what I thought. And previously I worked in railways and in airports briefly before joining highways. And my career options when I was growing up in a rural market town in Ireland were very traditional, very narrow, and I had to step out and plough my own furrow, and I decided to go and do transport management and planning at Loughborough University. So for other girls or young women making choices today, what helps or influences their decisions? For some, family and friends will make the biggest difference. They'll be the key influencers in their lives, informing their thoughts on whether engineering, construction, transport, whatever you might think it is, that highways is a subset of, that will be part of their future. So promotion of science, technology, engineering and mathematics, STEM, in the wider world is critical to reach the general population. Highways as a sector can benefit from wider promotion so that those family and friends can believe and think favourably about highways as a place to work and somewhere that is a good place to be going forward, something that makes a difference in our world. Key to helping young people make career choices are career advisors in schools, college and university. And reaching these is important because they can shape the choices. We need to think about the literature we take to any careers fairs and the social media that we promote when we visit those career fairs. Are we demonstrating that diverse organisation we want to have? Have we got the right people attending? Are they promoting us positively? And what tactics are we using when we're there? Personally, I take part in STEM events and love to talk about the breadth of careers in highways, whether that's engineering design, commercial, technology, ITS, planning, legal, construction. All of those are available. But when you look into many of the parts of highways today, we don't always see women in all of those areas. Often they're clustered in small subsets of those. So I think it's important to promote highways from the earliest times at schools and that, so that people see so young girls and women see what those options might be. You may not know it, but this week is tomorrow's Engineers Week. And there are activities going on this week to encourage and promote engineering to young people. Members of the Women's Engineering Society will be posting photos of Lottie dolls, kind of like Barbie dolls, but not Barbie dolls, very much more positive and diverse in their thoughts. And Lottie dolls will be at work during this week to show the huge range of careers available in engineering. And individual activities like this might seem trivial, but we've no idea where that bright spark might be in a young person, and they might remember that going forward because they've read about it on social media. Because social media is a key component at transmitting positive, upbeat and inspiring messages of what highways can be. In the last 6 months, gender pay gap data has been issued for large organisations, and it'll be soon time to think about that again. In that period, what has changed? Organisations are thinking about new strategies and working quickly towards a better balanced workplace, and that's great. But we all need to play our part in achieving this, and maybe have we used the data to influence our choices? So the next year will be even more important. But young people, whether male or female, don't always think about salary though, do they? In fact, so long as it's a fair salary and they're much more interested in development and learning opportunities, the working environment they might be joining, work-life balance and the leadership culture. They will change our sector from within when they join us, and we need to retain them. So we need to promote change to the external world, but also to the sector and industry from within. And our best chance of change comes from creating a new vibrancy and forward-looking industry that comes from a diverse, open workplace that values its people. We need to recognise, value and reward those who make a difference through all manner, whether it's award ceremonies like CIHT or that, and as an industry, be happy to promote and share best practice across all organisations, large or small. Increasingly, women are part of the graduate and apprentice intakes for our organisations. Some of the larger ones are aiming for 50-50 male-female graduate intake in the coming years. And recent graduate figures for some companies show that things are definitely going in the right direction, with 30 to 40% female intake in recent years, 20 to 30% for apprentices in the last year or two. And that's fab, but it will make even more difference in an SME where we have more females joining us in those smaller organisations, because it's all about numbers, isn't it? And the females in those sorts of organisations can promote bigger change. Hopefully we'll see women in all of the jobs across highways. So we're talking here about diversity and inclusion. Well, actually, probably it should be inclusion first, as the focus will end up with diversity as the result. And diversity is about new ways of working, with a breadth of skills and knowledge together. Skills shortages in our industry will mean that increasingly organisations will choose to focus on women to be part of that strength. But it shouldn't be a reaction to a skills shortage or a gender pay gap to change things. It's about equality and what feels right. A diverse organisation is proven to be successful and high achieving. It leads to a positive place to work. And I must admit, when I look back, when I joined a senior management team on a contract about 10 years ago, some of the SMT members commented that my presence as a female made a difference and it altered things. Of course, I couldn't see that because I wasn't there before. But it does make a difference, and a balanced team thinks differently, challenges things, and squeezes out inappropriate behaviours. I'm fortunate that I work on a contract where 11 of the 11 senior posts, 5 of those are female. On my contract, we have about 40% of our people, out of 450, are female. And that sounds great, but it is very focused, and in some areas there are some very focused single gender clusters. And especially this is the case in frontline maintenance and in some of their supervisory and line management. But in the majority of other roles, we do have female representation up and down throughout the contract, some better than others. When I started in Northamptonshire, I started an equality, diversity and inclusion group, and you'll see these in many organisations. This was and is much more than promoting women. From its early days, we focused on STEM activities in the community and helping designers to think wider of their community. But our most recent campaign has been about rainbow laces and LGBT, so it moves on because we want to be representative. I was asked in the last year about how we help bring in more female gritter drivers from another place. And I thought about that and said, well, why do you need to do that? Because surely all of these things are already in place. All of the policies should already be there. We shouldn't need to do something different for female gritter drivers. And we do have them on our contract. Lone working and work-life balance and changing facilities and stuff like that should all be there, shouldn't they? But sometimes they aren't. And I've done safety tours at midnight where the ladies' loo is still locked because the female engineer went home, and they're locked up facilities. So we need to look towards an industry going forward where we're respectful of one another and we don't have to make those changes. Changing viewpoints of managers will make a difference through inclusive recruitment training. That will help where we advertise, the language in the jobs, the kinds of job descriptions we promote, the location of the interview, and the diversity of the panel. All of these things make a difference, together with unconscious bias training. That is a real insight for managers and will help change attitudes and behaviours. The workplace culture is really important. It needs to be open, respectful and welcoming. We need to overcome any attitudes that Highways is tough or threatening or male-dominated. My fellow speaker, Nicola, will talk about female attitudes. Women may be more reluctant to engage in training or changing jobs unless we're clear and transparent about the career opportunities or what the job might entail. It's not enough to say we're flexible employers. We need to give examples and the ability to see that that flexibility is translated into practice. Reality needs to trump the perception. Are we truly open to returners, part-time workers and job sharers? We need to ensure that there aren't perceived knowledge barriers for anyone. Are our workplaces open to work experience? Do we bring our daughters to work and other work experience for young people? Because they will change attitudes not only for that person, but for those in the classes around them and their parents. I mentioned earlier social media promotion. We need role models that will help break down barriers. And increasingly, I hope that leadership in Highways will be able to change so that we will see women demonstrating our commitment in senior roles, leading with positive strategies so we can see Highways has and is changing. I am pleased to be part of the CIHT, which has demonstrated its commitment over the years. The CIHT Toolkit Routes to Diversity and Inclusion has been part of that. We've met our Chief Executive, Sue, this morning. We have former female presidents, and 4 out of the 12 female trustees are all female. All of that cement that commitment from the top, from CIHT, towards the change. And I've seen that change in my 15 years in Highways, and I'm pleased that women are positively contributing to our sector, but there is more to do.